And we've always been taught that from its beginning, Greece has been a cultured, civilized country with great education and philosophers and innovative physicians who declared first do no harm. This was a comment on one of my latest videos about Steffi, who suffered horrible abuse, and actually it's one of the nicest ones. What I usually get is, what's wrong with Greek people, and worse than any third world country, and they still dare to claim that they are the cradle of civilization. To start from the positive, there are good pet owners in Greece, people who respect the animals, people who adopt and care for the strays. There is a huge number of volunteers who have devoted their entire lives to caring for animals in need. The younger generations seem to be more aware, and actually the Greek laws about animal welfare are very good and very modern. The problem is that they are not really enforced. So what's the problem here? The main problem is education. Greece is years behind and it's been racing to catch up with the Western world, but that's not easy. Things like mutilating sheepdogs' ears and tails, keeping barrel dogs and hunting dogs chained for life upon mountains, and maintaining pet dogs in balconies and rooftops are things that are still socially acceptable. A couple of years ago, for example, the tenants of the building where I live had a meeting, and the woman in the ground floor proudly announced how their dog is living on the balcony 24/7. What she got from every single tenant apart from me was a good for you. I live in Athens city, which is the capital, and what I do as a pet owner is still not as socially acceptable as what she does. The number of puppies that we find abandoned in garbage bags every single day is unbelievable, and this has to do with education too. For most people here, especially in the countryside, putting puppies in plastic bags and throwing them away in the trash is their only means of population control. The reasons why they don't sterilize their female dogs can range from simple ignorance to simply opting for the cheapest solution. A garbage bag is always cheaper than any operation. Poison baits that are spread around every now and then, decimating entire colonies of stray animals, has to do with lack of education too. This is the only way people think they can solve the problem of stray dogs and cats without even looking at their neighbor's backyard, wondering where do all those puppies that his bitch is giving birth twice a year actually go, and how can we stop her from becoming pregnant in a humane way? The other reason, of course, is impunity. Greece actually has very good laws in paper about animal welfare. Purposely causing the death of a dog or a cat, for example, can be punished with a huge fine and jail time. But those cases can go as far as the civilian who filed the report is willing to take them. And of course, the big issue when it comes to chained, neglected, abused dogs is, where will all those animals be placed after they are freed from their misery? There is no RSPCA here. There is no central body that controls everything. It all comes down to civilians, individual rescuers, and charities that are based on volunteers alone, and they are swamped. Number 3, of course, is the government. The government is confused. Every time they are trying to solve the problem, they are actually making it worse. About a year ago, for example, they desperately tried to pass a bill that was so not modern and so against animal welfare that after massive protests, it was finally withdrawn. Recently, the government voted down a bill that would add a paragraph to the constitution protecting all living beings, and the Greek Hunters Federation came out and congratulated them for it. Apparently, any lobbying that comes from serious animal organizations is constantly ignored, and the reasons behind it must have to do with some political gain of some sort that I don't understand. The problem with the government, of course, is not just the parliament, it's every single mayor, municipal employee, person of authority who is just too ignorant or too ignorant. Greece is a member of the European Union, but it hasn't been very good at obeying the European laws, and one of them is the traces system that allows for pet transportation cross-country to be transparent. In every single European country, traces are issued without any problem in the blink of an eye, except Greece. Recently, rescuers have had their dogs confiscated as they were about to leave the country. Dogs that were adopted in Germany, and now they are stuck in the Greek red tape while the rescuers are being accused of pet trafficking. What? The forever confused and ignorant red tape cannot even permit for foreign vets to perform sterilizations here. There have been offers from European vets to come and sterilize dogs and cats for free, which is much needed here, and the municipal vets abusing and misinterpreting a detail of the law have rendered that illegal. And again, this is the only country where this happens. Number 4, my favorite, the media. None of the hundreds of cases of animal abuse ever reach the 6 o'clock news. Dogs that are found hanged, drowned, poisoned, buried alive with their eyes gouged out and their legs broken remain insignificant for the Greek TV and for the mainstream newspapers and websites. However, recently fake news pop up every now and then, even in the 6 o'clock news, about how adoptions of Greek strays abroad are pet trafficking, and about how Germans buy the Greek strays to abuse them. What are you talking about? This is getting too long, and despite the fact that I could go on forever I want, I just wanted to give you an idea. You can find links to everything mentioned in the video in the description box below, because none of it is something that came out of my head. And if for any reason you believe that I'm just a mean, spiteful that likes to paint that picture of Greece, then I'm sorry. Facts don't care about your feelings.